Hey guys, this is Alec Featherston. Today I'm going to be doing a Baby Raccoon deck profile. Basically just an updated version of the Unicore Control deck that I topped the OTS with. Yeah, so I'm going to try and do more videos for you guys. You guys aren't really existing yet. I'm hoping I can get some more people looking at these videos. Mostly I just want to do them because I really want an outlet for my deck building and an outlet to really share the excitement that I have for some of the decks I'm going to be making. At the end of the video, I'm going to be talking about some new decks that I'll be making. If you end up watching this video and any of the decks that I talk about sound interesting to you, just tell me. I'll make sure to rush whichever ones you find the most interesting. So yeah, just to keep this nice and brief, let's get right to it. Ooh, there's a lot of glare from the lamp there. Let's turn the lamp off. All right, cool. Play one max C. One max C is fine because if you draw multiple max C against a deck like Illusions in game 1, you're probably going to lose because it's really useless. So I think one max C is fine, just for the decks that hurts. To effect failure, you need effect negation in this deck, and effect failure is nice because it synergizes with your win condition, which is the Fabled Unicore. If you don't know what the Fabled Unicore does, you can look at my previous video. The one that Vexicus666 linked to the OTS top. It's on my channel, so you could just check that out. Fabled Unicore negates everything your opponent plays as long as you have the same number of cards in hand. So basically, having hand traps that allow you to discard from your hand at a moment's notice allow you to negate your opponent's cards as they play them, so it's very useful. One Thunder King Riot. Thunder King Riot is a win condition for you because sometimes you can draw a little dead. Thunder King Riot just acts as sort of like a proxy win condition when you don't seem to be drawing Obedience School, when you don't seem to be drawing Baby Raccoon Pompoko. He just helps you stall, and he's just a very good card in general. If you play a lot of back row and you're not really affected by Thunder King, I would definitely recommend playing him in the main deck. 3 Baby Raccoon Pompoko, you want this in your opening hand. Your ideal opening hand consists of Obedience Schooled and Baby Raccoon Pompoko. Baby Raccoon Pompoko gets Baby Raccoon Tantan. Baby Raccoon Tantan, basically when he's normal summoned, you get a set a level 2 beast from your deck. You can get Baby Raccoon Tantan. What he does is when he's flipped, you get a special summoned beast from your deck. Or with Baby Raccoon Pompoko, you can set Ryko Lightsworn Hunter. Everyone knows what Ryko does. So with Tantan, you can get Kalantosa, Mystical Beast of the Forest. When it's special summoned, you can pop one card of the field. I only play one of this. 2 makes you dead draw, and I learned this from the UK Nationals the guy who topped with the deck at UK Nationals. It's better to play 3 of this, 3 Pompoko, 2 Tantan, and 1 Ryko with 1 Kalantosa instead of playing 3 Tantan and 2 Kalantosa, because it lowers the number of dead draws while still having the same amount of popping and the same number of flip effect searches. So it really helps keep the engine efficient and keep the dead draws down. Play 1 Key Mouse. I was not running an Earth Tuner before, and now I am. I like Key Mouse because it's not nearly as bad of a dead draw as Elephant. I mean, Elephant is literally does nothing if you draw it in your hand. At least if you draw this, you can set it, they destroy it, bad battle, and then you get a search. So it's probably actually one of the best of the non-Baby Raccoon Beast to draw. It's very passable. I like, and it gives you Neutrality Beast access. If they max C you when you activate Obedience School, then you can bring out 2 other Earths in this, and then make Neutrality Beast, and then your opponent only +1 off max C in what would normally be a kind of a disaster situation for you. So Key Mouse is very nice. Wind Up Kitten, what it does is once per turn you can bounce a card your opponent controls. This card is very, very useful. Constellar Pleiades. You only need 1 though. You really want to keep the monster count low in this deck and focus on special summoning. Focus on controlling your opponent with spell traps. Fabled Unicore. The Fabled Unicore deck sort of functions like an aggro version of something like Herald Perfection. You're using lots of hand manipulators, lots of regular trap cards to control everything your opponent does and keep them off the board long enough to kill them quickly. So basically, it's basically like Herald Perfection, except you don't grind your opponent out. You just win very quickly with temporary card advantage. Play 2 the Fabled Cerebel because it's the tuner that you need to make Fabled Unicore. You play nothing but level 2 beasts, so this and any other beast in your deck allows you to make the Fabled Unicore, which is your win condition. And that's why you play 2 of this. Most people play 1, but since we're playing a Unicore deck, we play 2. Book of Moon, this card is great, on top of being a great battle trap, and on top of allowing you to get around big monsters. You can also Book of Moon your monsters in response to Effect Failure, in response to Breakthrough Skill, in response to Phoenix Chain. Like you can respond to you can do it on your flip effects and then still get their effects, so that's very useful. We played 3 Mystical Space Typhoon. I know artifacts are a thing, but frankly, 3 MST is just too important not to play. Helps you deal with Kaiser Coliseum, helps you deal with Royal Decree, helps you deal with Vanity's Emptiness. There's too many things, and also because it's a quick play, you can chain it to your opponent's cards on your turn to change your hand size for the Fabled Unicore, allowing you to negate their cards while also getting free pops. So the fact that it's quick play synergizes really well with the Unicore and just really helps the deck. I didn't normally start off with this spell, but today I didn't. Free Obedience School. If you don't know what this card does, then you have never seen a Baby Raccoon deck before. You've never played a Baby Raccoon deck before. You've never been beaten by one. This card lets you get 3 different beasts from your deck with different names. Yeah, this card is a Gear, except instead of getting 2 monsters, it gets 3 monsters. It can be used on first turn, and it's a spell card. So, yes, this card is absolutely absurd for this deck. It's basically your win condition, to be honest. 2 Upstart Goblin to help you get faster to the Obedience School. Now, I know I should be playing 3 Upstart Goblin, blah, 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 blah. The thing about this deck is that I kind of built this deck to OTK really fast. Playing 3 Upstart Goblin gets in your way, and I just can't find room for the 3rd Upstart Goblin. So 2 is fine. If you honestly believe that 2 Upstart Goblin is totally unacceptable, then you obviously have no sense of how Yu-Gi-Oh works, how consistently 2 works. Playing 2 Upstarts is literally just like playing 38 cards, whereas playing 3 is playing 37. Lots of people have won decks, won YCSs, and won big events playing 40-card decks, so clearly it's not a sin to play 2 versus 3 Upstarts. Anyways, that was a rant. We got 2 Trap Stuns. This card answers a number of cards that are usually problem cards for this deck. It answers Breakthrough Skill pretty well. It answers Artifact Sanctum. It answers, which actually isn't that bad for this deck, once your opponent's really smart. It answers Blackthorn of Heaven. It answers Solemn Judgment. It answers Torrential Tribute. This card just answers a lot of your opponent. You have to make a board with this deck and then protect that board. If your opponent is able to stop your board before it comes into play, they'll prevent you from ever dominating. So you have to protect that initial play. After that initial play is protected, you don't have to worry anymore. But you need these to protect the initial investment. 2 Phoenix Wing Blast. This card's great. You can discard your Fabled Cerebell to special summon it and get a thing for extra value. But honestly, this card's just really good when your opponent's consolidating their cards into Exceed and Synchro plays. People think it's a -1, but normally it's a 2 for 2. And honestly, being able to interact with your opponent in more ways during their main phase is really important because there are a lot of really fast decks right now that can blow you out of the water if you're not able to stop the combo rather than just the battle phase. Mirror Force and Torrential, sorry, not Torrential. Mirror Force and Deep Prison often come too late after your opponent's created a lot of card advantage. 2 Legacy of Yugioh. This turns the most heads. People usually see this in Exodia and see it in Burn, but I play it here because it allows you to change your hand size for the Fabled Unicorn on your opponent's turn, as well as being a draw accelerator. Yeah, that's basically it. Being able to negate your opponent's cards by simply drawing a card is absolutely crazy, and every time you resolve that, say they have you have 1 card in hand, they have 3 cards in hand, and they play Tanky, right? You activate this, and then you go up to 2. They had 3, but they played Tanky, so they go down to 2. You negate Tanky. So basically, you just negated Tanky for free. It's really crazy good. Okay, we're going to play 3 Reckless Greed. Reckless Greed. This deck is actually next to Obedience School. Reckless Greed is probably the most important card of the deck. You need the ability to get your hand size larger on a moment's notice, and Reckless Greed can flood your hand out of nowhere, allowing you to compete with decks that normally hold back a lot of cards in their hand, like Mermails. Because you need to keep the same hand size, and since you play so much back row, sometimes it's hard to do that because you're using your whole hand to make plays. So this just lets you refill your hand. It also digs you towards Obedience School faster, which is a huge perk with all the other draw effects you get and all the deck thinning that you run. You're able to get to 2 Reckless Greed pretty consistently, and everybody knows that double Reckless Greed is pretty great. Got 2 Burst Rebirth. Burst Rebirth, pay 2,000 life points, special summon a monster from your graveyard and face down defensive position. Now, Burst Rebirth is great. It lets you special summon Tan face down, lets you special summon a Raikou face down. It basically just sets up your plays while allowing you to blow out your opponent's back row, and do it in their end phase when they can't really interact with you. It's better than Iris Rock Sunrise, and it's better than Soul Charge because of its ability to both protect you, and because of its ability to allow you to make like kind of tempo-y plays. I know it's not better than Soul Charge universally. I just mean in this deck, I personally think it's better. Yeah, that's my opinion on that card. Solemn Warning. It's a lot of life point payment here, but that's why I'm not running Soul Charge in this deck, because I honestly think these are better, and I want to run Solemn Warning. I realize you could cut it to play Soul Charge, but I think it's too important. This is a very reactive deck, and you need to be able to protect your board. Compulsory Evacuation Device. I know a lot of people don't really like this, but the thing I like about it is that it's a hand size manipulator for Unicore, while also being just a very strong reactive trap card. Great against Madolche. It's great against all sorts of decks that rely on big exceed plays to kind of beat you down. Bottomless Trap Hole, Banished Guy, and then 2 Fiendish Chains. I don't play Torrential Tribute because this deck is all about establishing a board and protecting that board, and Torrential Tribute does not help you protect your own board, it helps you break down your opponent's established boards. Hopefully you're doing things fast enough so you're not actually worried about that. I know that sounds ridiculous, but this deck can be really fast. The boards you can set up, you can hit the ground running with this deck. And I guess for the extra deck, we've got 2 Fabled Unicorn. Oop, where did the second one go? Oh, there it is. It's your win condition. Got 3 Sandaiyu. This is the other part of your win condition, and the win condition of most Baby Raccoon decks. It's basically almost as good as Draco Sack, while being like 10 times easier to make, so, I mean, the value is pretty great. Naturia Beast, because you can make Naturia Beast in this build now, whereas you couldn't before. This bird's very useful. You can make it with Effect Veiler and any level 2 beast, or you can make it with the Fabled Cerebel and the level 1 Sandaiyu token, allowing you to get over pretty much any monster. And then the rest of the stuff is actually stuff you don't use. Catastor is pretty good. Fabled Raijin's pretty good. I never use this. Daigusto Phoenix sometimes helps you OTK people. Gachi Gachi Guntetsu. It's pretty good. You usually use it when you're on the defensive, but the fact that it buffs all your guys can often help Fabled Unicore like get over bigger threats. Herald of Pure Light. Herald of Pure Light is actually pretty good. I use it every now and then. You can use it to recycle your hand traps, which is a very useful thing while shuffling crappy beasts back into your deck. It comes up very rarely, but when it does come up, it's worth it, so I think it's worth it. Armor Kappa. I make this guy sometimes, and then when I do make him, I lose the match, so I honestly think that something about Armored Kappa is just cursed. He's cursed. I would take these 2 cards out. I never make this guy. Underworld Fighter Belmont, I never make him. I would take these 2 out for 2 Downer Magician. That's my recommendation to you if you have interest in this deck. Oh, and there was one extra deck card missing. The Fabled Kudabi. Where is it? This card is a lie. Don't run this. Armory Arm. Armory Arm is good. Use it. Alright, that's that. And now we got the side deck. We got DD Crow. DD Crow is a hand trap. It banishes stuff. It's mostly just because, like, honestly, half the time in this deck you use your hand traps just to like negate stuff with Unicore. But you want them to have utility against the deck you're playing against. So this card's good against Boujins, and it's really good against Dragons. It's pretty decent against Sylvans. There's just a lot of decks that DD Crow hits. Maxi hits a lot of decks. That's why we side the 2 Maxi and main the 1. I mean, we love playing hand traps, and we love hand advantage. Maxi lets us get there. That's pretty great. Creature Swap, this is for Boujins, and what's the other deck that people play? Noble Knights. And a few other decks, like this can be pretty useful. It's just a generally good card, very skill-intensive card, I believe. That's my opinion. Close Forest, this is for Dark World. It's for Harpies. It's for Spellbooks. It's for Gravekeepers. There's enough rogue decks that this card is merited in the side deck, I believe. Even Sylvans. Even Sylvans play Mount Sylvania. though I'm not sure if I would side this against Sylvans. Play 2 copies of Twister for Floodgates because I hate Floodgates. Just go die in a hole of Floodgates. Kaiser Coliseum, Vanity's Emptiness, Royal Decree, all that. You can't have none of that. You just can't deal with it. You're not going to have to put up with it. Let's see. Dimensional Prison, Soul Dream, Macros Cosmos. These are basically your big middle fingers to all the graveyard-dependent decks. Usually I put these in and I side out 1 copy of Burst Rebirth. 2 Mind Crush. These should be Mistake. I can't find room for Mistake in the main deck whenever I playtest online, so I just decide that I won't main it, even though I know every other Raccoon player ever does for some reason. But Mind Crush, it's a pretty good substitute, and the thing I like about Mind Crush in Unicore Control is it lets you manipulate you and your opponent's hand. You can call wrong deliberately with this card. So that allows you to mess with your opponent's hand for Unicore. It comes in quite handy. Traptrix Trap Nightmare, it's good against the Hat deck. It's good against Madolches. There's a number of decks that Traptrix Trap Nightmare is good against. Karma Cut. Karma Cut lets you discard a card from your hand to banish a card from banish a monster your opponent controls. This is quite useful against Madolche in stopping Angeli. Like, it lets you banish their key monsters without setting off Madolche Ticket or Madolche Chateau. Thinking of putting 1 more of this in there. It's also really good against dragons. Like, if they banish summon a dragon, you would kit it. Since they already used that effect that turn, they don't get their effect, and then they've lost a dragon. So Karma Cut can come in really handy. You also need more discard outlets, so it's just useful, and it can deal with like annoying stuff like Start a Spark and all the same things that Phoenix Wind Blast can do, except banishing is kind of a little bit better. So that's that. That's the whole deck list. So yeah, I guess now I'm going to be telling you what some of my future videos and I guess maybe articles are going to be about. One of the ideas, I mean, I'm full of ideas in terms of decks, but one of the ideas that I'm planning on working on is making a Pure Beast deck. I don't know if you guys know the card, where is it? Unifloria, Mystical Beast of the Forest, right? And Iris Rock Sunrise. So basically what Unifloria does is if you have all beasts in your graveyard, you contribute it to get any beast back, and that beast cannot attack this turn. And Iris Rock Sunrise lets you get back 1 beast that you in your graveyard and reduce the attack of all your opponent's monsters by 200 times the number of beasts in your graveyard. So basically these 2 cards, you can also use 1 for 1 to get this guy. These 2 cards allow you to play a really explosive pure beast deck. The only problem with that is that you can't play hand traps in a pure beast deck, and you can't do that. You can't play like non-beast exceeds and synchros. So that can be a pain in the ass, but there's a lot of really fun plays that you can do. Like you can use rank up Magic Astral Force to rank up Sandayu into Diamond Dyer, and then when you pop stuff with Diamond Dyer, where are you at? Where am I friend? Where are you at? Here he is. Whenever you pop one of your own beasts with Diamond Dyer, you can pay 1,000 to get Green Baboon Defender of the Forest back from your graveyard. So I just think there's a lot of really cool interactions that go on in Pure Beasts. I think it could be a really explosive deck. It'll do better in a format where people don't really run as many hand traps. But I mean, the pure amount of graveyard recursion between Unifloria, Iris Rock Sunrise, Soul Charge, and Burst Rebirth, all those cards together mean that you can do an absolutely insane amount of special summoning in the pure Beast deck. I know it may not be optimal, but I think it'll be really fun, and I think I can make a cook up a build that you guys will really like. So if you're interested in that, just tell me. The other one I don't have any cards in front of me to tell you about, but me and my brother have been cooking up this awesome Gem Knight Lightsworn deck. The only Gem Knight deck that ever topped a regionals. Did it about a year ago when Rescue Rabbit was at 2. And what was I going to say? It was a Lightsworn Gem Knight deck. So basically the idea is you use the Lightsworn engine to mill most of your deck to the graveyard, hopefully hitting a Gem Knight fusion, then using that Gem Knight fusion along with Lumina and Summoner Monk and all the gem knights to make fusions and to make exceed and to make numerous exceed plays. And since Rescue Rabbit was limited to 1, a lot of people have been like boo-hooing the death of you know, the Gem Knight deck, and you know, Morphing Jar and Return for the Different Dimension. But honestly, after testing the deck, by cutting Rescue Rabbit and replacing the normal monsters with Geminis, and adding Curry Bandit to that simple Lightsworn engine, basically replacing Rescue Rabbit, and adding Volcanic Shells to the Lightsworn engine, I honestly think that this Gem Knight deck might be better than even the Gem Knight deck that was playing to Rescue Rabbits. I know that might sound a little bold, but I think that you guys might be really surprised by how effective this build is. So yeah, if you're interested in either one of those deck ideas, just tell me. I'll probably be making a video on one of those ideas coming up soon anyways. I'm not sure if you made it this far, but if you did, like, comment, and subscribe, I guess, because that's what everybody says. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you've got any questions, if you think my build sucks, if you want to tell me anything about anything, then comment. And I'll see you guys later.